from what I can tell, and the best distinction I've learned on it is culture is social agreement. And it is a social agreement on how we're going to be together. And that sounds so broad, and yet it kind of is, because there's so many different ways people could choose to be with each other. They could choose to be formal. They could choose to be informal. They could choose to be rigid. They could choose to be loose. They could choose to be in good moods. They could choose to be in serious moods that are sometimes not always productive, right? And so those choices that we make, both as individuals and when we come together as groups, of what we will do, what we won't do, what we'll point out, what we'll step over, I think ultimately end up creating that culture. And I think that the challenge is that a lot of people say, oh, I want to produce a certain kind of culture, or I want to produce a good culture. Or they'll declare they have a good culture, which may well be true. And I find that there's no way not to have a culture as long as there's a group. If there's a group, there's a culture. The question is whether or not the culture happened by default or happened by design.